Have you ever imagined waking up and finding out your entire world is flipped upside down? Well, that's exactly what happened to James Anderson, one of the wealthiest billionaires known for his ruthless business strategies and cold demeanor. James, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar tech empire, was infamous for caring only about profits, often disregarding the needs and feelings of others. But one ordinary morning, he woke up to find everything had drastically changed. Instead of his lavish penthouse suite overlooking the city skyline, James found himself lying on a dirty mattress beneath a bridge, surrounded by garbage and the hum of traffic overhead. Initially, he thought it was a dream, a terrible nightmare. But as the cold, gritty reality began to sink in, James realized that this was no dream. This was now his life. James frantically searched his pockets only to find them empty. No wallet, no phone, and worst of all, no identity to cling on to. Confused and angry, he approached passers-by, demanding answers and assistance, but was met with indifference or disdainful looks. It was the first time he felt truly invisible and powerless. As days passed, James struggled to survive. He had never experienced hunger or desperation before, and now it was all he knew. Begging on street corners, scavenging through dumpsters for food, and enduring cold nights exposed to the elements became his daily reality. He began to notice people he had never paid attention to before, the homeless community around him. James slowly got to know them, learning their stories and witnessing acts of kindness he had never encountered in his previous life. He met Sarah, a mother who had lost everything in a house fire, and Tom, a war veteran abandoned by society. These encounters forced James to confront his past attitudes and actions, leading him to question the true meaning of wealth and success. One evening, huddled around a small fire, Sarah shared her limited meal with James. As he ate, tears filled his eyes. In that moment, the once heartless billionaire experienced genuine kindness for the first time. This simple act of sharing became a turning point, reshaping his understanding of empathy and generosity. Determined to reclaim his life, but with newfound compassion, James began helping others around him in small ways, like organizing food shares and assisting with basic medical needs using the knowledge and skills from his previous life. With each act of kindness, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and humanity he had never known existed within himself. But James still had a long way to go before fully redeeming himself, and the journey ahead was filled with challenges he had never anticipated. Despite his positive steps forward, James soon discovered the harsh realities of his new life. Days turned into weeks, and his physical health deteriorated from poor nutrition and harsh living conditions. The relentless weather, unsafe sleeping spots, and constant fear for personal safety were taking their toll. Yet these struggles ignited a newfound respect for those around him, who faced these challenges daily without complaint. Driven by desperation, James tried to reconnect with his past, hoping someone might recognize him and help. He visited his former office building, but security swiftly escorted him away, dismissing him as just another homeless troublemaker. Former colleagues and employees walked past without recognizing him, underscoring his complete transformation and anonymity. This harsh rejection further humbled him, pushing James to a profound realization about the superficiality of his previous connections and relationships. Feeling completely lost, James returned to the only place where he'd found genuine support, the small community of fellow homeless individuals. Sarah and Tom, along with others, warmly welcomed him back. They didn't care about his past or his wealth. To them, he was simply another person in need, deserving of compassion and respect. As time went on, James began documenting his experiences, determined to raise awareness about homelessness and its underlying causes. He started small, writing on scraps of paper found in dumpsters or borrowed notebooks. Each story he recorded was a testimony of resilience, kindness, and survival amidst incredible adversity. His writings became a beacon of hope and understanding, gradually spreading among local community centers and outreach programs. One day, a social worker named Emily noticed James' notes pinned to a community notice board. Deeply moved by his powerful storytelling, she sought him out, determined to learn more and offer assistance. When Emily found James, she encouraged him to speak at community meetings and events, sharing his perspective and advocating for change. Initially hesitant, James realized this was an opportunity not only to help others, but also to reconcile with his own past mistakes. His speeches began drawing attention, and gradually people started noticing him, not as a billionaire, but as a passionate advocate for social justice. Media outlets began covering his inspiring story, highlighting his personal transformation and the urgent need for societal change. However, James was careful not to lose sight of his purpose. Despite renewed recognition and support, he continued living among his new friends on the streets, never abandoning the community that had embraced him during his lowest moments. Through his journey, James learned that genuine connections, empathy, and humility were far more valuable than any amount of wealth or status. But James still had one significant challenge ahead, a chance to confront his old life head on and see if he truly had changed, or if he might revert to the person he once was under pressure. The ultimate test for James came unexpectedly during one of his powerful community speeches. Michael, his former right-hand man and acting CEO of his company, stepped out from the crowd, visibly moved. Michael had stumbled across James's new story through local media coverage and sought him out, convinced of his sincerity and eager to offer him a chance to reclaim his former life. Michael's proposal was straightforward: return as CEO and revive the struggling company. But James knew returning wasn't just about reclaiming status or fortune. It was a moral crossroads. Deep down, he questioned if his change of heart would survive amid old temptations of power and luxury. Unsure, James consulted those who had profoundly changed him: Sarah, Tom, and Emily. Each person shared heartfelt advice, emphasizing the genuine transformations they'd witnessed in James. They encouraged him to seize the opportunity, but reminded him to hold tight to the empathy and humility he'd gained. After much reflection, James agreed to return, but only on his terms. He clearly stated that his acceptance hinged on his ability to direct substantial resources toward combating homelessness and poverty, initiatives that would create jobs, offer training programs, and provide shelters for the disadvantaged. His return sparked skepticism. Many questioned his motives, suspecting a publicity stunt. James faced a constant internal and external battle to prove his integrity. Yet through consistent actions, transparent communication, and genuine leadership, he gradually won trust back. His employees saw firsthand his earnest commitment as he personally joined outreach efforts, volunteered at shelters, and passionately advocated for social change. Eventually, James's efforts transformed his corporate culture entirely. Employees were encouraged and empowered to engage meaningfully with the community. His vision inspired collaborations with other businesses, nonprofits, and governmental organizations, creating a network dedicated to tangible social impact. Despite his reclaimed wealth, James maintained strong ties with Sarah, Tom, and Emily, regularly spending time with them to remain connected to the values that had reshaped his life. His humility and genuine relationships became his greatest strength. Years passed, and James's transformation had a ripple effect far beyond his immediate circle. Inspired by his story, other influential leaders began reconsidering their roles and responsibilities in society. James became not just a businessman, but a powerful symbol of redemption and empathy. One day, James faced another pivotal moment, the launch of an international initiative designed to combat homelessness globally. This ambitious project required extensive funding, collaboration, and relentless effort. At a massive press conference, James openly shared the full extent of his journey, from ruthless billionaire to homeless individual, and finally to a compassionate advocate. His vulnerability resonated with people worldwide, triggering unprecedented public support. Donations flooded in, and individuals from diverse backgrounds reached out, eager to contribute and participate. The initiative quickly gained momentum, effectively addressing homelessness in ways that were previously unthinkable. James found himself not only reshaping global perceptions around wealth and responsibility, but also reshaping the lives of countless individuals. Every shelter built, every job created, and every policy influenced was a testament to his transformation and dedication. In his later years, James frequently reflected on the irony of his experience. The cruel twist of fate that had stripped him of everything ultimately gifted him clarity, compassion, and purpose. His life had been redirected onto a path where real wealth was measured by generosity, empathy, and meaningful human connections. James's journey, now etched deeply into public consciousness, served as a powerful reminder of humanity's potential for profound change. From heartless billionaire to passionate social advocate, his story was proof that the greatest fortunes are not built from wealth alone, but from acts of kindness, love, and genuine understanding.